Hey guys, Swaggs here, and this is not a review. No, this is actually me telling you about my very first knife design. Kizer messaged me on Instagram and asked if I wanted to design a knife. Okay, let me just tell y'all, me, I saw that message, almost died. That didn't happen. I went and checked back, that happened. Would you freaking look at that? They really talked to me, and it made me feel so special, the fact that they really noticed what I try to do with this channel. Is I'm not out here trying to be like, hey, I'm pretty, buy this knife. Like, that's not me. If y'all haven't noticed, I wear t-shirts and stuff. Like, that's just not my style. I actually care about the knives. I actually think they're extremely cool, and that's why I tell y'all all the specs of it. I want y'all to really have a review that might actually matter here for you. And with this knife, I put a lot of thought into it. So I'm gonna tell y'all how I got to the final product of this knife. Okay, so in my time at Smoky, I got to see so many knives. And you gotta realize, for me, someone who knew nothing, I'm talking like nothing about knives, that was insane. It was honestly a little bit overwhelming at times, but it gave me the opportunity to look at so many different designs and so many different things that are made. And you know, before I got anything into knives, I was an artist. That's what I do. I love art. I love different things, whether it's modeling, whether it's, you know, I like taking pictures. I'm not that great at it. I like painting. I like sculpting. I like art. And all of that art just really made me think about different designs that I would do. I actually want to tell you guys how I got to this design, because I put a lot of thought into this. You know, I really thought about a lot of different things of it. This is my first knife. What do I want to do with my first knife? I want to incorporate the first knife I ever had, which was the Kershaw Leek, designed by Ken Onion, who obviously, he's a Hall of Fame knife maker. He's obviously great at what he does. That was my very first knife, and it had a wonderful Wharncliffe blade on it. So I went with a little bit more like extra Wharncliffe on it, because I thought it looked pretty. So that's really inspired by my very first knife that I had. Shout out Ken Onion. And the Sway Back itself is, I think that slip joints and traditional knives deserve more credit than they have. I think they should have more love, but I do understand why. The reason why a lot of people don't carry a slip joint is because we want a one-handed opener, because that's more fidget worthy, you know? So I want to incorporate both of that in here. My first knife, and a knife that I admire, that I think is really cool, and that is the Sway Back of the traditional design. Like, you know, traditionals, you have the Sway Back, and I just thought it looked absolutely beautiful. And funny enough, you can actually trace that design, or that shape, back to 200 years ago in Sheffield, England. Hilarious, because I used to love The Nanny and Mr. Sheffield. I just thought that was so funny. But I also decided that, I will say, it's kind of hard for me to explain, is that me having my first knife, I actually opened that up a lot better than I realized. You know, I thought that was just common sense, you just open the knife, right? But when I put a knife in a lot of other women's hands who have never been around them, did I ever own one? No. Did I know anything about them? No. Do I have a dad that works and he has knives? Of course. So I had like a pretty good understanding. You just open the knife, you know? But a lot of girls don't. You know, I have a lot of friends, you know, I put a knife in their hand, they're like, oh, what do I do with this? I'm like, no, you don't do it like that. And so I really wanted to kind of put into perspective that this can be a much better fidget spinner. You have the thumb stud, the flipper, and you can also open it with the button lock. And plus, button locks are just cool, come on now. So that's a big portion of how I got to this design, is really I tried to think about all those things that, you know, got me started, sometimes get swept under the rug, and what's actually kind of cool too. And I've tried to put it all in one knife. Now, I do want y'all to remember, this is a prototype. What I have in my hand is not in production yet. This is just a prototype, but I'm gonna tell you about how I know it to be right now before any changes could happen. Like I said, this is the prototype, but what we have right here is a 3-inch N690 Wharncliffe blade with a stonewash finish. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. You got some swedging up here. And it is a manual opener with not only a flipper, ambidextrous thumb stud, but also a button lock. So you can use all of those to open the knife. So close it. trying to make sure it's in camera for y'all. But you can use all of those things to open this knife, and because of that, this is the perfect fidget trainer for not just girls, but for anybody who want to get into a knife. You can definitely use this knife for them because that teaches them how to use the thumb stud, how to use the flipper, how to use the button lock, and just generally it gives them a way to really just play with it in their hand. And so when they have something else in their hand, they really like it. Now this also has a ceramic ball bearing pivot, so the action is amazing on it. And that's not just because it's mine, but I'm telling y'all, it's just got great action. And that was a big deal to me. Now with the button lock, it has the G10 handles and it has an anodized pivot collar. Now I will say this, the reason I'm using the green one right here is because it does have the button lock. This is the prototype that had the button lock. And like I said, that's what we're going with. I want this to be the fidget trainer. Everyone's gonna play with this knife and be like, oh, this is just so much fun. And that's what I'm going with. Ha! And plus you got a great drop close on this. That's what's so fun about it. But this one, it is a liner lock. It's not coming out in a liner lock. We are doing the button lock. But this particular one has the correct red that I'm wanting. Plus we have the silver pivot collar, and personally I like pretty colors. I think it is kind of silly that we only have OD green, black, gray, brown. Come on, what's so wrong with a little bit of color? And plus, I know me, I know girls, and we love red because hello, red lipstick. It's an empowering color, it is right in your face, and you know, it just kind of stands out. We're also going to have royal purple because royalty and purple. Purple's awesome. I know you boys like purple. Y'all play. I know you like purple. I synced it. And you know, I do ask questions on my Instagram for a reason. Purple was definitely a big hit, which I was actually kind of surprised. I'm so glad because great colors. You're gonna notice if I put out a knife, I want pretty colors with it because I like pretty colors. And you should too. So last but not least, the size. We're looking at a 4-inch closed knife, right? So I went with about that size because I want this to fit good in hand and good in the pocket. And you know, I got girl pockets, so bam, look at that. We got a nice little ski jump for the clip. Reason for that is I want it to hold on to my belt loop. You guys might argue, it's fine, I don't have pockets. It's got to clip onto something. So that's definitely, I had to make sure of that. And it says my name. I was so excited for that. It is 7 inches overall, so you got a nice 3-inch blade. I put a lot of hard thought into this to make sure that, you know, I'm kind of covering my areas that it feels good in hand, but also rides good in your pocket. Now, let's make something extremely, extremely clear. I don't make knives. Never have. Probably won't, because I've seen what you guys do on Forge and Fire. I see it. I see it. Not me. Terrified. That is terrifying. I would totally, I would get severely hurt. Y'all don't understand how much of a klutz I am. So thank goodness that Kizer wanted to reach out to me and bring my ideas to life, because I'm not a maker, I'm a designer. Kind of. Am I? I don't know. But I might be now. So they took my idea, they made it into a knife. It's insane. But thank you so much, Kizer, for this amazing experience. You are the, you know, this is my first knife. I wanted to design it after my very first knife that I ever had, and slip joints, and I just wanted to bring a new feel to it. And thank you guys so much for looking at it and saying that it was awesome enough to make.